Alright, Bluespecs beer reviews, and I am going to do one or two beer reviews tonight of Clown Shoes beers. This is their Archdruid. It's an Imperial Red Ale, or it's a red ale, not Imperial, aged in Irish whiskey barrels. Pretty cool. I think that's pretty awesome. I love the label, as I have loved all the labels in these. That guy with the staff and everything. I don't know the beer advocate ratings, and if I do find them, I'll post them in the description. So it says it's an Irish red ale, aged in Irish whiskey barrels. And I'm looking forward to this. Let's go ahead and see what this is about. I believe this one was another one that was $6.99 along with that Space Cake IPA. Let's go ahead and pour it in my Samuel Smith glass and we'll see what we have. I just got back from hanging out with some friends. I was drinking at the bar and hunting Pokemon in the park here at night. There's a if you play that game, there's a current event. There's an event going on about Halloween, and some Generation 3 Pokemon are out. And that's pretty cool, I think. So with that pour, we have about 2 fingers of light cream colored head. Very, very pretty looking beer. Nice, pretty looking red ale. The body is opaque. I can see a lot of stuff going upward, and it's very active too. I can see a lot of bubbles going upward. Has a nice amber red kind of color. Really, really nice looking. And I'm going live here just because sometimes with this phone, with this iPhone 6s Plus, the upload is sometimes very difficult. Sometimes it takes forever, and sometimes it's just easier to do it this way. So sometimes I will do this just for regular beer reviews. So it smells like sweet, like maybe toffee. A definite Irish whiskey, kind of like Tullamore Dew. I don't know if you've had that Irish whiskey. It smells like Tullamore Dew with some sweet candy like Irish or toffee sort of thing happening. It doesn't really have like a tannic thing going on like a lot of red ales do, but this isn't really your typical red ale. This is a Clown Shoes beer, first off, and secondly, this is a Irish red ale with Irish whiskey barrels, so it probably might not have that tannic effect. It smells very nice. I do love that the smell going on. Just like a sweet toffee, like with the whiskey. So let's go ahead and try this one here. Whew. Not like I was expecting that to be. There's a certain thing going on here that I will talk about here in a second. This kind of makes me think of the Petrus wild red wild ale. The Petrus was a red ale, but it was also a wild ale. And a wild ale is something akin to being a sour ale. Even though a wild ale isn't sour, it has I don't really know a whole lot about wild ales or sour ales. Wild and sour ales are not my forte. I don't know a ton about them. I have a few every now and then. Like I love Boulevard's Love Child series. I love those, and I've had a few other ones. But sour beers are just not my particular thing. And wild ales, I don't know a ton about. Wild ales are kind of like, they have that same sort of profile taste, but they're not puckering as much as a sour ale would be. And I'm talking about this because this has that profile of a sour or a wild ale, except this is more like a wild ale, and it just doesn't have that puckering thing, but it has the same sort of profile, and I'll kind of explain more here. So you do have, like, at first you have like a sugary, like toffee-like thing, but it's not like I was thinking it was going to be. It's there at first, and then you sort of get this whoosh of that wild ale sort of thing happening. The wild ale that I'm seeing in this is sort of like it has sort of a tart thing, a fruity tart thing happening, and sort of like a dry tart sort of thing happening, which ends up being somewhat sweet, but not puckering sweet, but not like cloying sweet, and it's not puckeringly sour. So you have the Irish whiskey, like the Tullamore Dew like kind of flavor. Like when I think Irish whiskey, I think about Tullamore Dew as being sort of like the big one. There's a few others I've had, and I love Tullamore Dew because you can have some really nice whiskey sours with those. Very, very interesting. The Tullamore Dew type Irish whiskey thing is sort of the backbone to this whole thing. And it has sort of like that tart, and the tart wild ale aspect really goes well with the woody type Irish whiskey thing too. This is very, very good. I'm really liking this. I wasn't expecting it because I'm not really I guess I don't really understand wild ales or sour ales as to how those work with red ales. I don't really understand that whole thing. I should probably try more sour beers, but sour and wild ales, but they're just not something I really like. Not a huge thing for me, but every once in a while, something like this is fantastic, and this is really, really good. Like I said, the feel is dry. You do sort of have a light to medium thing going on. What is ABV is what I want to know. 9%, holy crap. I would never know this was 9%. This is very, very drinkable, very almost crushable as how just drinkable and easygoing this thing is. Unless you hate the taste of a wild ale or just the backbone or what a sour beer is without the pucker. This is really, really good. I'm pretty much loving this. It really has just that light medium thing. I'm gonna go ahead and give it an A minus. It's not my favorite thing. I would like it if the Tullamore Dew type Irish whiskey thing was a little bit stronger. I feel like that would really make this a solid A, or even possibly an A plus. But this is really, really, really good, and this is a different thing for me. This type of beers, red ales, I'm no stranger to, but when I think of red ale, I'm thinking about Smithwick's or Murphy's or something like that. You know, something that's a Irish red ale, but doesn't have this normal, like Irish red ales don't have this sort of wild ale thing to it, and this one does. Like Smithwick's or I can't think of the other one. There's one other one that's really, really popular, like red ale. Those two have like a tannic thing to them, and they're very, very they're really, really good. They have like a tannin to them, and it's a different kind of red ale than this is. This is more like that Petrus wild ale or red ale. This is different, but this is a good beer on the lower end of excellent. If you see clown shoes in your area, I'm guessing that they're expanding because they just came into my area, which is Nebraska. So if you see clown shoes, including this Archdruid, I think it's fantastic. I think you should get it and try it. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you very much for watching.